Hi guys, Arthur here from Homeowner DIY. In this video, I am going to be installing a Kohler kitchen faucet. Now, I have a couple kitchen faucet install videos already on the channel. Guys, check out the description for the other ones. I believe they're Moen, but when it comes to a kitchen faucet, whatever the brand is, they're all fairly similar in the way to install them. So what we'll do now is material and tools. Alright, this is the materials list. So this is a Kohler faucet. It's a Cruce R26372-SD-VS. I have no idea what that means, but that's what it says right here. So what we'll do is we'll take a quick look at our faucet. Alright, so this is our faucet. We have the base plate, the weight, the pull-out wand, the actual faucet itself. So this here is the soap dispenser bottle, and then this is the other half of the soap dispenser bottle. I'm not going to install this because there is no hole for it, but if you want to, you can. But guys, this is our faucet, so what we'll do now is the tools list. Alright guys, this is the tools list. So this is a basin wrench. This is what you're generally going to need to either loosen off the nut for the old faucet or tighten on the new nut. But because there's no sink in, channel locks is perfectly fine for my case. But guys, just make a distinction. This is probably what you're going to need. 10-inch Crescent wrench, 5/8 open-end wrench, and then a Phillips screwdriver. Guys, this is all you need for tools on this job. So let's get started. Alright, so I removed the previous faucet and I also removed the sink, so it'll actually make it easier to show you how to install this faucet. So this is a single hole design. It's a single handle faucet. Now, because this is only a single hole, you don't need to use the base plate. If you had the 3 holes, so there'd be a hole here and a hole there, you'd need to have the base plate, otherwise water will go down the holes. But the homeowner doesn't want to use the base plate, so I'm not going to, and it'll just be a straightforward install without the base plate. Alright, so in case you guys are wondering, the base plate would go on like that, and then the 2 holes would be covered. But since there's only 1 hole here, we don't need the base plate. Guys, really quickly, one other thing. The silicone behind the faucet was turning black, so I scraped it away. If you're already here, you might as well clean it out. So you can see how clear this is, and this is more of a translucent type of color because it's older. But anywhere that silicone is going to consistently get wet, it's going to eventually turn black. So if you're already here, you might as well just scrape out the discolored silicone and put in something new like I did here. Okay, so here are the parts. So we have a gasket that will go on the bottom of the countertop. We have a metal washer, so the gasket will go on like that. This goes on top into the hole, which I'll show you in a moment. So it also has a foam gasket. And then this here will go on the very bottom, and that is what's going to clamp the faucet to the countertop. Okay, so looking at the bottom of the faucet, there's an indentation here and on both sides. So you see the 2 indentations. So the indentations fit into the slots on either side here. Okay, so with the plastic piece now on the bottom of the faucet, we'll slide the lines through. So guys, it says Kohler right here. As far as I know, the handle side is always on the right for a single handle faucet. I may be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure they're always on the right. Alright, so I will slide the rubber O-ring and then the metal washer. So you can see the black is on top of the steel washer. So it'll go up like that. So this is our brass nut. So it has 2 screws. So you want to back the screw out so it's like this. So you don't want to, this is just exaggerated, but you don't want to have the screw sticking out. Otherwise you're going to start scratching up the washer and you're not going to get it very tight. So just back it off until the head of the screw is below the top of the brass nut. Okay, so because the sink is not here, I can just use a set of channel locks. But if the sink was here, what you would need to do is use a basin wrench. Okay, so this is a basin wrench, and the head turns back and forth, and you open it, and then what you do is put it onto the nut and then tighten it up. But I don't need to do that because the sink is not in. So with a pair of channel locks, tighten up the washer as tight as you can go by hand. I think that's actually pretty good right there. And also keep the faucet straight, otherwise it's going to want to turn. And now with a set of channel locks, tighten the nut as much as you can. All right, with the brass nut tightened down, the 2 screws, so it's either a Phillips head or you can use a socket, but tighten one up in one of the screws until you feel it start to bite, so you have some resistance. Tighten up the other one. And then go back and forth until they're both tight. All right, with the faucet tightened down, give it a shake. It's not moving. So make sure that this and this here are parallel so it looks nice and neat. But with this all done, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to connect the hot and cold supplies. Alright guys, so for the supply lines, on this model the cold is marked, says cold right here. Sometimes they'll mark the hot, but one will be marked. So it doesn't matter which one you tighten on first, but I'll do the hot here, so tighten it hand down as tight as you can go. Now this nut here for the supply is 5/8. So we're going to use a 10-inch Crescent wrench to hold the stop in place, and then tighten down the supplies as tight as it will go. And then we'll do the same for the cold. Alright, with both supply lines tightened down, make sure that the supply lines aren't kinked. And now what we're going to do is connect the wand hose. So what I would recommend is always do these two first so you don't accidentally catch the wand hose, and then you're not going to be able to pull out the wand as far as it can go. Okay, so for the wand hose here, this one has 2 wings to detach it, and then we have the plastic clip. So the wings will catch these tabs and make sure that it clicks. Give it a tug to make sure it's nice and tight. Alright, so now we have our weight. So this one has a clip over here. Sometimes they have a screw, but make sure that the wand is completely retracted, so just give it a tug. Make sure that you're going to put the weight at the very bottom, and then the weight will go over. Alright, so to test, just pull. And make sure that it's not going to catch on anything coming up. If you need to move it, then go ahead and do it, but otherwise this is now done, this faucet here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and install the sink. I'll put the drainage and everything back together, and once it's all back together, we'll test the faucet. Alright, so the new sink is in, so the faucet, that's one mode, that's the other. Alright, so I'll pull on the wand, it goes up, it goes down. So guys, once you install your faucet, make sure that this line here is not going to get caught on anything. So something like this valve here, if it gets caught on the underside, you're going to have a problem. But just make sure that you don't have any obstructions in the way so you can pull out as much as you need to for when you want to wash dishes. So guys, with that in mind, what we'll do now is now review this job. Alright guys, so that concludes this job. So in this case, because the sink has not been installed, this was very easy to do. I mean, the sink being in the way makes this much more difficult, but with the old faucet already removed, this was quick and simple. This is as easy as it gets when it's going to come to a faucet install. The time on this job, the time was about 20 minutes. Now, when it comes to time, it'll be between an hour and an hour and a half. I've had some faucets that were an absolute pain to get out. I've had other ones that weren't too bad. I've had stuff in the way, but this here is a very simple install this time around. Generally, if you're going to do a renovation, then do things in order where the faucet goes in first, then the sink, and that'll be easier for you. But guys, for your time, I'm going to say be prepared for an hour to an hour and a half typically. The cost of this job. The faucet was about $170. So everything comes with the faucet. Because this is a stone countertop, I didn't put any putty underneath it. But otherwise, you don't need anything extra. At least when it comes to a reputable faucet, you won't need anything extra. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. I hope something here is going to help you on your project when you need to go ahead and do that. Guys, till next time, please hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next project.